Hey, Dr. Martin here with our first micro lecture for week 5. This week we are starting Microsoft Excel, and I have to tell you, Microsoft Excel is my favorite application. I believe it is the most powerful application in the Microsoft suite. Even before AI, Excel was smart. It can figure a lot of things out, and I'm gonna give you a few examples. First, know that just with mastering Excel, you can get a living wage job just by knowing Excel. It can be used for accounting, it can be used for charts and visual representations of data. You can use it to make lists and directories and kind of like basic databases. You can even create forms. You could link numbers and names through different spreadsheets. It's pretty awesome. So if you as you're going through these assignments, decide Excel's kind of cool. We do have some dedicated courses just for Excel. So let me show you an example of one of the things we could use Excel for. So I had made up this roster. It's totally random. None of this stuff is real. So there's no privacy issues here. This is a directory for a youth soccer team, okay? And we have the column headers right here, city, state, parent name, and then we have all the data, okay? So I'm gonna click on the data, and I'm gonna highlight all of the cells of the data, and actually I'm gonna start right here because I wanted to show the first part. So I'm not going to click on the headers, just the data. I'm going to go to the data tab. Now this is going to look slightly different than your cloud-based version because this is the downloaded version of Excel. But we'll talk about how to use these same tools in the cloud-based version. I'm using the download version just for ease for myself. So if you click on sort, you can sort by any of the column headers. You see player first name, player last name. So even though we didn't select the column headers, Excel is smart enough to realize those are column headers, the rest is data. So we could sort this by player number, click OK, we go over here, and we can see the player number from smallest to largest has been selected. We could sort by player last name, and we can see that now it's by last name. We could sort by city and phone number, whatever. So super easy. Now if I was managing a team, I would use Excel for a directory. If I was managing the whole league, I would still use Excel. I would have one spreadsheet for each team. I would have the spreadsheet for the uniforms and the sizes. Now in Excel, when we open up Excel, we're opening up a workbook. And a workbook in Excel can have multiple sheets. You see we have youth soccer directory, and then sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, and we can continue to add sheets. We can have 1,000 sheets in here, and it might get kind of complicated, but we can make this a very robust set of data, and we can even link data from inside one workbook from sheet to sheet. It's pretty amazing. So this is not what we're going to be doing for our homework, but I just wanted to show you because Excel is so powerful and to show you some simple ways that you can use it. Okay, so back to the assignment. We're going to work on some numbers. So let's look at, as always, starting from the college homepage, go to the portal. We're going to focus on this workflow that we always do. I just want to make sure you're getting this right. We open up Canvas. Okay, we go to our course. We scroll down to week 5, and I know this is like really big, so let me make it a little bit smaller. So here's our week 5. We're going to use this sample file here, and we're going to modify it. But right now it's in Canvas. We want to move it to our OneDrive. So we have to download it to our computer. go to OneDrive and upload it again. Now we don't have a very good connection between Canvas and the OneDrive right now. They just haven't figured that out yet. Don't know why. One of these days, though, it'll be easier. But in your career as a student, right, in completing your education and at work, you're going to have to understand how to transfer files between different storage locations, whether it's on a USB drive or on cloud-based storage, or you create it. There's going to be a lot of uploading and downloading and saving. And I've told you before, I have a rule that everything that's important to me is saved in the cloud. I've had too many things lost. So here's the spreadsheet, or the workbook, with one spreadsheet in it. It's pretty simple. We're going to click the download link. You'll notice that a little thing pops up. Hey, you've just downloaded that file. And we can click here and it'll open it up, and there it is. But we don't want to edit it from here. It opened for me because I have the downloaded version of Excel on my computer as well. Okay, but we want to go back to My Apps, right? Back to the sign in. You sign in. This is a page you see, the apps dashboard. We want to click on the app launcher, which is these 9 squares up here, and you'll see when I put my cursor over it, it says app launcher. Click on it. Click on OneDrive. Now we've done this before, so hopefully you remember. Click on the little folder, which is My Files. That's what it'll say for you. Here's our CIS1 folder. Click on the plus button. We're going to add a new folder. Guess what it's going to be called? Not week 5, but week 5. All right, week 5. So now we open up week 5. Right now it's empty. We want to upload that sample file that we just downloaded from Canvas. We want to upload it to OneDrive. So click plus, click File Upload, click on the week 5 sample assignment. You can see I've done some practicing, so I have lots of different versions of it. That's okay. So here we have the week 5 Excel sample assignment. It's in our week 5 folder. This is where we want to open it from. This will ensure that we are opening it in the cloud-based version of Office 365. That way your screen looks like my screen. Okay? So I'm going to click on the it says I don't want to adjust automatically. I just want to show the ribbon. Always show the ribbon. There we go. Now you'll notice in Excel we have the same tools, some of the same tools as we do in Word. Now, I know some of you have made the comment that when I am in this view, right, with my, picture in the corner, and then in, the larger area we have the window here, sometimes it comes in and out of focus. So what I'm going to do this week is maximize my screen. No skins, no fancy pictures, just the file. Okay, so here we have our Excel file, right? The Excel workbook with one spreadsheet called data. Down here, we can see that's the name of the spreadsheet. Click on the plus button and we can add another sheet, but we're going to focus on this sheet here. Okay, I'm going to switch back and forth between the assignment, let me make that bigger, and the workbook, okay, the Excel file. All right, so hopefully that's big enough for that you guys can see it well. Okay, so for the assignment, you're going to learn how to enter data and use formulas. And this is just reminding you of the workflow. Download the file from Canvas, upload it to OneDrive in a new folder called Week 5. Open it from the OneDrive, then you can start working on it. Okay, now the first thing I like to do, like we said before, is change the file name. So it's going to be, now if we look at the assignment and we forget, scroll down, last name, first name, week 5. Okay, so I'm going to come back here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the file name, and it's going to be Martin, Tom, week 5, and I'm just going to delete everything else that's in that name, hit enter, and now that is saved. You'll notice that I'm not typing in .xlx whatever, xlsx. It knows, Microsoft knows this is an Excel file. We don't need to type in the extension. The extension is .docx, .xl, .xslx, .pdf. We don't type those in. We let the application figure that out. Okay, it's smart. All right, so we got the file name. Okay, open it from OneDrive. We're going to enter some data. We're going to use some formulas, and then we're going to do some formatting. So data entry. Okay, we're going to enter in some data that's missing. So we'll notice that in this spreadsheet, we have first, let's kind of get to know Excel. We have a bunch of columns. These columns are indicated by letters, A, B, C, D, so on. Then we have rows that are numbers. Okay, when we click on the column header A, it's going to select the whole column down forever. And B, same thing, down forever. When we click on row 1, it's going to select row 1 out forever. Okay, now we can also click on a cell. In Excel, a cell is an intersection between a column and a number. So if we are clicking on this cell, column A, row 1, and if we look right here, this is the name box. The name of this cell is cell A1. If we were to click in this other cell down here, this is column A, row 2. That means this is cell A2. Excuse me, get a drink. I was going to have my liquids here. Now, if we were going to click in column B, row 1, this cell is named B1. Okay, so we're going to add some more data in these cells. And when we click on a cell, it's outlined by this green border. Okay, so let's go back to the assignment. It says, enter the data, enter the quantity for rulers and pencils, so 3 and 12. So 3 rulers, so I'm going to make sure I'm clicking in the quantity for rulers, so this is B6, 3, and I'm going to click down to this other cell. I'm going to type in 12. Okay, now it wants us to enter in the price for the rulers. Rulers are $3.25 and pencils are 50 cents. So we come back to the spreadsheet. Rulers are expensive, $3.50. And pencils are cheap, they're 50 cents, 0.50. You notice that it's formatting these a little bit different. It's because we haven't told it that this is money yet. Excel just sees this as numbers, and that's okay. We're going to look at formatting a little bit later. But right now, it really doesn't matter as long as we have these numbers right. So let's go back. Okay, so we've entered in the data. Now we're going to learn how to use formulas. Now, if we wanted to know the total of how much we're going to spend on pens, we have 10 pens at $1.50 a piece. That's $15, right? So 1 times 10 is 10, 0.5 times 10 is 5, that's 15. So when we could just type in 15 into this box, but then we'd have to do all the math in our head for all these cells. We don't want to do that. We want Excel to do the math for us. This is great because I'm not a big mather. Math has always been a struggle for me in all my assignments, even through my doctoral program. Don't freak out if your math or English or any one subject is difficult for you. It just means you're going to have to put in more time to figure it out. So we're going to use formulas. The formula rule is all formulas start with the equal sign. So we're saying that this cell right here is going to equal, I'm going to type in the equal sign, which is on a PC, it's next to the backspace. So on the top row after the numbers. Okay, so we're saying this cell equals, and we want to multiply 10 times 1.5, but we're not going to type in equals 10 times 1.5. We're going to use a formula, and we're going to use cell references. So we're going to type in equals B2 times C2. All right, so B2, which is 10, and C2, which is 1.5. Okay, so equals, I'm going to click right here, B2, and then I'm going to click on the star, which is the symbol for multiplication, and that is on the right hand side of your keyboard if you have a number keypad, or Shift 8 if you don't. And then I can either click on cell C2, or I could type it in, C2, 2, there we go. Now you'll notice that once we type those in, it highlights and color codes the cell. So what we're saying is the contents of this cell equals B2 times C2. And when we're done entering the formula, we just hit the enter or return button, and it gives us the answer, which we already knew was correct, right? But Excel is figuring this out. And when we click in the cell with the formula, we see in the formula bar right here, we see the formula that we put in. Now, why use a formula? What if we change the quantity of pens and we order 15 pens? We hit enter, you'll notice that the formula is the same. We're saying whatever's in cell B2 times whatever's in cell C2, and then we want the total, and updates it automatically. What if the cost of pencils goes down, or pens goes down to 75 cents? Then it changes automatically in the total. Okay, so 10, what did we say, $1.50, 15. Okay, so now we're back. All right, now, so we've entered in the formula. Now we can enter in the same formula here. We could say equals B3, or 3, we don't even have to capitalize, times C3. It still recognizes those as cell references, and we hit enter. 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, we're gonna do a shortcut though, right? We want to tell Excel to use the same formula style, but use it in all of these cells. And Excel is smart enough to figure it out. Okay, let me show you an example. Okay. Okay, let's say we want the number 10 to be in all of these next 4 cells. Okay, we see this border around the cell that we've selected. In a lower right hand corner is that little box. That's called the fill handle, F-I-L-L. Okay, if we put our cursor over it, our cursor changes. When our cursor changes, we click with our left mouse button and hold, and we drag down. Boom. Now we've entered in, it's saying we've copied everything in. Now, what if we had 1, 2, 3, and we wanted to put 4, 5, 6, 7? Well, if we highlight the 3 cells, Excel is smart enough to realize we're numbering the cells here, and it keeps numbering them. Pretty amazing. Okay, now we could use the fill handle in a whole row or a whole column. Okay, so pretty cool. So I'm going to delete all those. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this formula, B2 times C2. We're going to use the fill handle, and we're going to drag down so that it populates that same formula in each one of these cells. So we can see in the formula bar that we're multiplying B2 times C2. Now here, if we go in the formula bar, notice that Excel realized that what we're trying to do is multiply quantity times price. So it changes the cell references to B3 and C3 automatically. Now, Excel's been doing this for years, guys. This is way before AI. Excel has just been smart that way. Okay, it's pretty cool that Excel can figure out what we're trying to do. Okay, so let's go back to our assignment instructions. So we've used the formula equals, right, which says this cell, whatever's in this cell equals the result of the formula. Then we've used the fill handle to populate D3 through D7. So we use the fill handle to populate these cells. Okay. Now it's saying in cell D8, we're going to use another formula. This is the sum formula. Okay, so instead of saying, so we're going to basically do a grand total. And we could add this in our head. We could also say equals and click on each cell. D2 plus D3 plus D6, D4 plus D5 plus D6 plus D7. And hit enter, and we have the total there. But we're going to do something easier, and we're going to say this cell equals, and we're going to use the sum formula. Open parentheses, and we're going to create a cell range, right, by saying D2 colon D7, and you'll see that it's highlighted all of those cells, close parentheses, enter. And now it's given us this total. Pretty awesome. Okay, we could do it a little bit differently. We could say equals sum, open parentheses, click and drag everything I want to add together, close parentheses, enter. Boom, get the same thing. Okay, so we've now, when we click on it in the formula bar, we see that that formula is there. We could also change this in here. We could put in, let's say we only want to add in notebooks down, not include pens, and we could see that this has changed. Okay, let's go back and fix that. Now, when we change the quantity of pens, not only is it going to update the total of pens, but it's going to update the grand total down here. Watch this. Boom. Automatically updates. So this is the benefit of using formulas. Okay, there are many formulas you can use. These are the most basic. So if this is something you're interested in or something you could see yourself using in your job, or you love numbers, then check out some of our dedicated Excel courses. Chances are they're going to be in business. Okay, so now let's go back to the assignment. So we've entered our data, we've used our formulas. Okay, we didn't type our final answers, we didn't do the math manually, we've calculated using formulas what the totals are. Now let's go to formatting. Okay, first it wants us to bold the header row. So the header is this here, this row. It describes what is in the column. So cell A1 says item. That means the item, all of these are different items. Now we're looking at quantity. This column is quantity. This column is the price. This column is the totals. Okay, so we're going to highlight these cells in the header row. We're going to do that by clicking on cell A1 and holding down our mouse, our left mouse button, and dragging across. Okay, dragging across. So now we've highlighted all of these and we want to bold it. So we're going to click this bold button here, or you can use the keyboard shortcut, which is holding the control key down and B for bold. Okay, So that's the first format requirement. Then it says, I want to see all the table borders. Now, in this view, we can see the little lines between the cells, right? But if we were to go to like print preview, see if it'll show that. You can see that it doesn't show any of those borders between the cells. And to make it readable, we want to make sure that we are showing all of those borders. Okay, and I'm gonna click on just these because I want the grand total to stick out. And in under the home tab, we can go to borders right here. Okay, it's in the under font. We can see that it's like dotted lines. I'm going to click down the drop arrow here, that drop down arrow. I'm going to choose this one where it shows all the borders, and the mouse tip again shows all borders. Now it shows those borders. I'm going to again go back to the assignment. Okay, so we've done table borders, shows all borders. The header row should be thick outside borders. So this row here, I'm going to go back to borders, and here it is right here, thick outside borders. So now if we were to go to File, Print, and it shows us a print preview, we can see that here we have bolded headers. There's a thick outline of the header row. All of the cells have borders. Okay, so let's go back. Now let's clean up the alignment. We want to make all of this aligned. Center aligned. Okay, that just makes everything look nice and neat. Okay, now we want to underline D8. So D8, row D, column 8, that's the grand total. We want to underline it so it sticks out. Okay, that's it right there. Now, the last thing is we want to make column CD, we want it to show that this is money we're talking about. Okay, and so we want column C and D, but we're not selecting the whole column, right? We just want to select the cells. And under number format, right now it just says general. It's a general number format. We want to change that to currency. And you'll notice that it makes it so much easier to read, right? It was under general before, and it shows 1.5. We're used to seeing money as $1.50, right? So now it shows the dollar sign. It shows 2 decimal places. Okay, now if we were to go to print preview, here we are, right here. Now we can see that the nice table that we've created, we've done all the formatting. Okay, all the column D is all formulas, right? We can see in the formula bar, column D is all formulas. Okay. So that's good. Okay, submission requirements. So we already, the first thing we did is we named it. And we put it in the week 5 folder, so we're good there. So we have the correct file name. So we need to now make sure it's saved. Now this is a cloud-based version, and so once there's a green checkbox, we know that it's saved. Okay? Now we want to have a screenshot showing that D7 is selected, and we want to see the formula in the formula bar. Okay, now to do this, I am going to go back to this other view where it shows you the whole screen. Okay, let's see, there we go, right here. Okay, so it shows the whole screen. And this is actually a separate file, so I'm going to change the file name. Okay. So we want to do a screenshot. Now, in Microsoft, the easiest way to do a screenshot is to use the snipping tool. Now I'm showing you this view because you can see in my on my taskbar here, I have the snipping tool saved, and I've told you about the snipping tool. I've told you how to pin it, but I'll show you again. Okay, you can go into the search bar and type in SNI. You can see the snipping tool. You can click it. It opens the snipping tool. Okay, and it looks like this. And so we want, as the assignment says, to show D7 highlighted and show the formula there. Okay, so we're going to click, we're going to make sure that's highlighted, and we're going to make sure the formula shows. We're going to click new, and we're going to click and drag and just show that screenshot. And now we see that screenshot that we've just taken. We're going to click on save. Okay, and I'm going to save it into the downloads folder. So, and it's going to be called Screenshot 1 Martin Tom week 5. Enter. Okay. Now, once it's open, once your snipping tool is open, you can see it on your taskbar even if you don't have it pinned. So I'm going to unpin mine. Okay, so if you come down here to your taskbar, right click and make sure pin to taskbar, right? And you'll know it's pinned if your only option is to unpin it. So we know it's pinned. So if I were to close it now, right, I've closed the snipping tool, I can click on it and it'll open it right here. Okay, so the next thing it wants us to do, the assignment, is to select cell D8 to show that formula that we've done correctly. So I'm going to do the next screenshot, and you can do just as much as you want. You can do a bunch if you want, as long as it shows cell D8 and the sum formula right here. And I'm going to save. I'm going to show you a little shortcut. Now I've already done screenshot 1. I'm going to click it. Now if I were to just hit save, it would replace screenshot 1 with screenshot 2. So I'm going to go down here in the file name, and I'm going to just type in 2. Now I don't have to type in that whole file name. Okay, so now we'll make sure that in our downloads folder we have screenshot 1 and screenshot 2. Okay, so now we have all of the files that we need for the assignment. We have the Excel file and 1 screenshot and 2 screenshot. So now that we have all the files, we need to make sure that we have a copy of the files in the cloud on our OneDrive and a copy of them in our downloads folder so we can submit them. Okay, so let's go back to our OneDrive. So here is where we have a copy of the file that we modified in the cloud. Okay, so first let's just download this, and it's going to download right to our downloads folder. Okay, now we need to upload those screenshots. Those screenshots were saved into our downloads folder. So we're going to click on the plus icon and click on file upload, and we're going to click on screenshot 1. And a cool shortcut to be able to select multiple files is hold the control key down and select screenshot 2. Now both of them are selected, and click open. Now it'll upload both of those at the same time. Okay, so now in our cloud saved, we have all the files needed for our assignment. And then in our downloads folder, we have the file that we modified in the cloud and downloaded, and then we have the 2 screenshots. Okay, so that's everything we need to do to submit the assignment in Canvas. Okay, now your screen's going to look a little different from mine. I'm in the teacher mode, and so I don't have the submit button, but you'll hit the submit button, and then you'll click upload, and you'll upload those files. You can even upload the 3 files at the same time by clicking on one, holding down the control key, and then clicking on the other 2 files. You can upload them all at the same time. All right, so pretty awesome. Excel is pretty amazing. You can truly get promotions, get a living wage job, be an essential employee by learning Excel. Very powerful tool. So thanks for watching the micro lecture, and I look forward to grading your assignments. Again, if you have any questions, send me a text. You can ask me a question that I can respond via text, or you can text me that you want to schedule a phone call or a Zoom. That's the fastest way to get a hold of me. If you don't mind waiting a few days, then you could send me an email through the course email system. It just might be a little bit before I get back to you. So thanks a lot for watching, and I see you next time.